Hey guys, so today we are planting potatoes and I'm going to be busting one of the biggest myths about planting potatoes, and that is the fact that you do not have to mound all of your potatoes. There are certain varieties of potatoes that do not have to be mounded because they will only grow in one layer. Those are called determinate varieties, and everything I will be planting today will be in that category of determinate potatoes. So there will be no need for me to come back and continue to mound these, also making them perfect for planting and raised beds. Hey guys, welcome back to Heritage Hollow Homestead, and today we are planting potatoes. So I have my raised beds here. I have 4 of them, and I am going to be planting a different type of potato in each one. And I have my seed potatoes here, and I have Kennebec. We also will be planting Yukon Golds, Pontiac Reds, and because I have these and I just want to kind of experiment, they've already sprouted a ton. These are just regular old store-bought potatoes. So I want to plant those in a bed too, and we're just going to see how they all do. And also today, when I plant these, I am not going to be hilling my potatoes. So today I just want to kind of bust a myth about potatoes. And that is, there are 2 different types of potato varieties. Some are determinate and some are indeterminate. And depending on which type you plant will depend on if you need to hill your potatoes or not. So, all of the potato types that I'm going to be planting today are in the determinate category. That means that when I put them in here, in the soil, they are only going to grow 1 layer potatoes at the same level as that original seed potato. They are not going to continue to grow. So there's no need for me to hill these potatoes. There are varieties though that are indeterminate, and this is where people become accustomed to hilling their potatoes. And the indeterminate potatoes will continue to put off tubers as high as the soil will go. So, and they will continue to produce more and more potatoes. In our case, all of these potatoes will grow in the soil in 1 layer all at once, and they will all be ready to harvest at the same time. So, the next thing with potatoes is you have 2 choices that you can make. You can either plant your potato whole like this into the ground, or you can cut it up into pieces around the different eyes of your potato. I'm going to just be planting them whole because you will get more potatoes in here, more plants in one area if you plant your potato whole. Okay, so it's as easy as just putting them in. We're gonna move them down. Can you see the dirt? You can just come close and watch my hand here. So I'm just going to be planting these way down into the soil like that. We have not dug it deep enough, but there we go. Okay, and then covering them up. And that is that. That is all I have to do. Okay. One last thing. If you are going to choose to cut up your potatoes, that is called chitting. And then when you do that, you do not need to cut them and then immediately plant the pieces, okay? The potato can rot. What you need to do, if you are going to choose to cut your potato into several pieces, is you need to cut it up, and then you need to just lay it out like on the counter or on a newspaper, and give it time for it to kind of grow a skin over it and harden up a little bit, and then plant, okay? So if you're choosing to cut up your seed potatoes, don't immediately plant them. In our case, that doesn't matter because I'm just going to be planting them directly whole. I will be planting these about 6 inches deep as well, and about 6 to 8 inches apart. Okay. You also want to put your eyes facing upward. So I'm putting it facing up here. Okay, we have another one. Get him down in there. As many of those eyes facing up as we can. Okay. And then you just cover them up. Okay guys, so the last thing I'm going to do is come back, and where I planted each row, I'm just going to gently get down here so you can see it better. I'm just going to be kind of bringing the soil up into a mound so that I remember where my rows are. Okay, come on down here. Okay, like this right here. I'm just raising it up and making my mounds. They're already technically planted deep enough, but this will just give them a little extra dirt on top, and it will remind me where my rows are. And the reason why it's so important for your potatoes to be planted deep is because if your potatoes are too close to the surface, the sun will hit the skins of them, they will turn green, and the potato will then no longer be able to be eaten. So any green potatoes are because they were exposed to the sun. Potatoes do not need to be exposed to the sun at all. So that is the reason behind planting them deep and mounding them, is just simply to keep the sun from reaching the tubers. So we planted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. We planted approximately 20 rows of potatoes. And our peas are just going to keep living here beside of them until they are finished producing. Then we'll pull those up and we'll put green beans where the peas were. And that is our, you can see a little better there how they are kind of mounded up. And in a few weeks, once these break through the surface and I can see their leaves, I will come back and I will put a layer of compost across the top of all of these so that the nutrients from the compost can slowly seep in and feed the potato plants. There you have it. One last thing that I forgot to mention also, when I was planting my potatoes, you may have noticed I did not amend my soil at all, and that is because this is basically a new soil. We just had it brought in because this is a new garden spot, and it is already 40% compost, 50% topsoil, and I will be adding compost to this every few weeks, a light layer of it on top, for a continuous slow feed of my potatoes. So that is why I did not add any amendments to it before I started planting my potatoes this time. If you have a garden spot that you have used for many years, you would want to go ahead and amend your soil and work in your compost ahead of time. But like I said, in our case, this is already 40% compost. I don't want to add anything else to it. I would risk possibly being too much in the beginning. Alright guys, so that is it for our planting potatoes today. Didn't take very long. If I could only grow one thing, it would probably be potatoes. We eat potatoes every day. We love potatoes. Maybe it's my Irish heritage, or I don't know, but I love me some potatoes. My cousin's little girl, actually, cute story, whenever they were planting their garden this year, she wanted to plant mashed potatoes, and I thought that was adorable. Me too, sister. Me too. I hope this video helps someone. Just be sure to look up your list of determinate and indeterminate potatoes, depending on if you would like to heal your potatoes or not. The determinate potato varieties that I planted are all going to be early varieties. Another reason why I choose determinate potatoes is so I can get two rounds of potato harvest. I will be able to harvest these in 70 to 90 days and still be able to come back and plant again and get a second harvest of potatoes before fall. And that is the second reason why I choose determinate varieties.